You've been lied to. Walking 10,000 steps a day is not enough to keep you independent after 60. I know that sounds crazy. Your doctor tells you to walk more, the health magazines tell you to walk, your Apple Watch is nagging you about it right now. But here's what nobody is telling you. Walking trains your heart beautifully, but on its own, it does very little to protect your muscles. My name is Michael. For the past 20 years, I've helped over 1,000 adults over the age of 60 stay active, stable, and independent through mobility and strength training. And I can tell you this with absolute certainty. The people who walked religiously every single day but did nothing else were often the same people who struggled to get off the toilet without grabbing a safety rail. They had trouble lifting groceries into their car. They couldn't easily pick up their grandkids. And when strength failed, balance followed. Some of them fell hard. The real villain here is sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. It quietly steals your strength and independence, whether you feel it happening or not. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you one of the strongest predictors of how long you'll live independently. It's something surgeons actually use to assess risk before operating on older adults. It's not a blood test. It's not genetics. It's a simple movement you can start training today. But we can't jump to that yet. First, we need to fix your foundation. Stay with me, because this could change everything. Before we go further, I want to know who I'm talking to. Comment your age and where you're watching from below. I read these personally, and it helps me tailor future videos exactly to you. Are you 60, 70, 85? Where are you in the world? Drop it in the comments right now. All right, let me explain what's really happening inside your body as you age. Starting around age 30, you begin losing muscle mass, about 3 to 5% every decade. That might not sound like much, but after 60, the loss speeds up dramatically. If you do nothing to stop it, you could lose 30% of your muscle between age 60 and 80. That's almost a third of your strength, gone forever. Now, you're probably thinking, but I walk every day. I'm active. I'm doing something. And that's fantastic. Walking is one of the best things you can do for your heart. But here's the problem that nobody talks about. Think of your muscles like a bank account. Walking pays the interest. It keeps the account active. It maintains what you already have. But resistance training makes the actual deposit. That's what builds and preserves the muscle tissue itself. When you walk, you're only using one specific type of muscle fiber. We call them slow twitch fibers or type 1 fibers. These are your endurance fibers. They're amazing for stamina. They keep your heart pumping efficiently, but they're small and they don't generate much power. The fibers you are not training when you walk are called fast twitch fibers or type 2 fibers. These are your power generating fibers. These are the ones that matter most for your independence. Let me be very clear about this because it's critical. Type 2 fibers are the ones that catch you when you trip over a crack in the sidewalk. They're the ones that help you stand up from a low chair without pushing off with your hands. They're the ones that let you carry a gallon of milk from the car to the kitchen without setting it down halfway. Walking does not challenge these fibers, not even a little bit. And unfortunately, these type 2 fibers are the first ones to disappear as you age. Research shows that by age 80, you can lose up to 50% of your fast twitch muscle fibers if you don't actively work to preserve them. That's why I see patients who walk 5 miles every single day, but still can't get out of a bathtub safely. Their cardiovascular system is strong, but their power muscles, the ones that matter for daily independence, have quietly wasted away. And by the time they finally notice, they've already lost years of function they didn't have to lose. But here's the good news, and I mean really good news. It's not too late. Even if you're 70, 80, or 90 years old right now, your muscles can still respond to resistance training. A landmark study found that adults in their 80s who did resistance training just twice a week for 12 weeks increased their muscle strength by over 30%. 30% stronger in just 3 months. At 80 years old, your body wants to be strong. It's designed to adapt. You just have to give it the right signal. But knowing this information isn't enough. You need the right tool to do this safely, or you could risk doing more harm than good. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, I'm not going to a gym, I'm not lifting heavy barbells at my age. And you're right, you don't have to, and honestly, you shouldn't. But you do need resistance. Your muscles need to push or pull against force in order to grow and stay strong. You don't need a gym membership, but you do need the right tool. I recommend the WhatAFit resistance bands, specifically with the door anchor. This simple attachment turns any door in your home into a strength machine, allowing you to exercise safely without the fear of dropping heavy iron weights on your feet. What I love about bands for my older clients is the safety factor. There's no risk of dropping a dumbbell on your foot. The resistance is smooth and constant throughout the entire movement, and you can easily adjust the difficulty just by standing closer or farther from the door, or by switching which color band you're using. Plus, bands force your muscles to work through the entire range of motion, which means you're not just getting stronger at one specific position, you're building functional strength that translates directly to real-life activities. By the way, if you are under 5'4", these might feel long, so just loop the band once around the handle like this to get perfect tension. I've linked this specific set in the pinned comment and description below. Grab them from the link below right now because we're about to put them to work. All right, now let's use those bands. Here are the 3 essential movements you need to do to preserve your independence. We're going to count them down, starting with number 3 and ending with the most important one, the movement that predicts longevity that I mentioned at the start. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where do I even get the right tools? I've linked the resistance bands, knee support, and seat cushion I personally recommend in the pinned comment and description below. Grab them today and start building strength safely at home. All right, let's get started with the 3 essential movements that will preserve your independence, starting with number 3. Let's go. Exercise number 3 is the seated row. This targets your upper back, specifically the muscles between your shoulder blades. Now, why does your upper back matter so much? Because poor posture is quietly destroying your quality of life. When your upper back muscles are weak, your shoulders round forward, your head juts out in front of your body. This compresses your lungs, which makes it harder to breathe. It also shifts your center of gravity forward, which dramatically increases your risk of falling. Plus, let's be honest, rounded shoulders make you look and feel older. Here's exactly how to do the seated row properly.
Attach your resistance band to the door anchor at chest height. Sit in a sturdy chair facing the door, about 3 to 4 feet away. Hold both handles with your arms extended straight out in front of you. Your palms should be facing each other. Now, pull the handles straight toward your chest. As you pull, focus on squeezing your shoulder blades together behind you. Imagine you're trying to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades and hold it there. Hold that squeeze for 1 full second. Really feel those muscles working. Then slowly return to the starting position with control. That's 1 repetition. Here's the mistake I see all the time, so pay attention. Do not let your shoulders shrug up toward your ears as you pull. Keep them down and back. And do not lean backward as you pull the band. Your torso should stay upright the entire time. Do 10 repetitions. Rest for about 60 seconds, then do 2 more sets of 10. This single exercise will improve your posture, reduce neck and shoulder pain, and honestly, it'll make you feel taller and more confident. But here's the thing. A strong back is useless if your legs can't support your body weight. Now that your back is safe, we need to target the joint that causes the most falls, your knees. Let's move to exercise number 2. Exercise number 2 is the sit to stand. This is hands down the single most functional exercise you will ever do in your life. Here's why this movement matters so much. If you cannot stand up from a chair without using your hands to push yourself up, your independence is at risk right now, not someday, right now. Think about it. You have to stand up from the toilet every single day. You have to get out of bed. You have to get out of a car. You have to stand up from a restaurant booth. If you can't do that movement safely and independently, you need help from another person. And once you need help for basic movements like that, your world becomes smaller. You stop going places, you stop doing things, you lose confidence. This exercise trains that exact movement pattern, and it's going to make you stronger than you've been in years. Here's how to do it correctly. Sit in a sturdy chair with your feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. Now, cross your arms over your chest like you're giving yourself a hug. This is very important. Do not use your hands to push off the chair or the armrests. If you use your hands, you're robbing your leg muscles of the work they desperately need to do. From this position, lean slightly forward from your hips, not too much, just a little bit. Then, shift your weight onto your feet and stand all the way up. The key here is to push through your heels, not your toes. When you push through your heels, you activate your glutes and your hamstrings, which are the big powerhouse muscles in the back of your legs. Those are the muscles you need for strength. Stand all the way up until your hips and knees are fully extended. Then, slowly lower yourself back down with control. Do not just drop into the chair. That lowering phase, what we call the eccentric phase, is actually where a lot of the strength building happens. Here are the common mistakes to avoid. Do not let your knees cave inward toward each other. Keep them tracking straight over your toes. Do not use momentum by rocking forward and flinging yourself up. Make it slow and controlled. And do not let your heels come off the ground. If this exercise is too hard for you right now, that's okay. Start by using your hands very lightly on the armrests, just for balance. Then gradually reduce how much you're using your hands over time. Eventually, you'll be able to do it with your arms crossed. If it's too easy, hold a water bottle or a light weight against your chest to make it harder. Do 8 to 10 repetitions. If you can't do 8 yet, do as many as you can with perfect form. Rest for about a minute, then do 2 more sets. I'm telling you, this exercise will change your life. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. People who couldn't get off the toilet without help regained that ability in just a matter of weeks by doing this movement consistently. Strong legs are absolutely essential, but they're completely useless if you don't have this next muscle group strong. This is the lifeline of longevity. This is the movement I've been holding back. Exercise number 1. All right, here it is, the movement that predicts how long you'll live independently. Exercise number 1 is standing hip abduction. This targets a very specific set of muscles on the side of your hip called your hip abductors. The most important one is called the gluteus medius. Now, why is this little muscle on the side of your hip the most important muscle in your entire body for longevity? Because weak hip abductors are the #1 predictor of falls in older adults, and falls are the leading cause of injury and death in people over 65. Let me explain how this works. When you walk, every single time you take a step, you're balancing on one leg for a brief moment. It's quick, but it happens with every step. Your hip abductor muscles are what keep your pelvis level and stable during that moment. If those muscles are weak, your pelvis drops to one side. You become wobbly, you lose your balance, and eventually you fall. Surgeons actually test hip abductor strength before they do major surgeries on older adults because it predicts whether the patient will recover well and go home or end up in a nursing home. That's how critical this muscle is to your independence. But almost nobody trains this muscle. Walking really doesn't challenge it. Most traditional gym exercises don't target it directly. You have to isolate it on purpose. Here's exactly how to do standing hip abduction. Stand next to a wall or a sturdy kitchen countertop. Rest your fingertips on the surface very lightly for balance. Do not lean your weight into the wall. You're just barely touching it to keep yourself stable. Your standing leg, the leg you're balancing on, should be slightly bent at the knee. Keep your core muscles engaged and your posture tall. Don't slouch. Now, lift your other leg straight out to the side, away from your body, about 12 inches off the ground. Your toe should be pointing straight forward, not angled up toward the ceiling. Here's the critical part. Do not lean your torso to the opposite side to lift your leg. That's cheating, and it takes all the work out of the muscle you're trying to train. Keep your shoulders level. Imagine you have a bowl full of water balanced on top of your pelvis, and you don't want to spill a single drop. That image will help you keep your hips level. Hold the lifted position for 2 full seconds. Really squeeze the muscle on the side of your hip. Then lower your leg back down with control. That's 1 repetition. Do 10 repetitions on each side. Rest for about a minute, then do 2 more sets per leg. I'm telling you, this exercise will change your life. I've seen it happen hundreds of times. People who couldn't get off the toilet without help regained that ability in just a matter of weeks by doing this movement consistently. Strong legs are absolutely essential, but they're completely useless if you don't have this next muscle group strong. This is the lifeline of longevity. This is the movement I've been holding back. Exercise number 1. All right, here it is, the movement that predicts how long you'll live independently. Exercise number 1 is standing hip abduction. This targets a very specific set of muscles on the side of your hip called your hip abductors. The most important one is called the gluteus medius. Now, why is this little muscle on the side of your hip the most important muscle in your entire body for longevity? Because weak hip abductors are the #1 predictor of falls in older adults, and falls are the leading cause of injury and death in people over 65. Let me explain how this works. When you walk, every single time you take a step, you're balancing on one leg for a brief moment. It's quick, but it happens with every step. Your hip abductor muscles are what keep your pelvis level and stable during that moment. If those muscles are weak, your pelvis drops to one side, you become wobbly, you lose your balance, and eventually you fall. Surgeons actually test hip abductor strength before they do major surgeries on older adults because it predicts whether the patient will recover well and go home or end up in a nursing home. That's how critical this muscle is to your independence. But almost nobody trains this muscle. Walking really doesn't challenge it. Most traditional gym exercises don't target it directly. You have to isolate it on purpose. Here's exactly how to do standing hip abduction. Stand next to a wall or a sturdy kitchen countertop. Rest your fingertips on the surface very lightly for balance. Do not lean your weight into the wall. You're just barely touching it to keep yourself stable. Your standing leg, the leg you're balancing on, should be slightly bent at the knee. Keep your core muscles engaged and your posture tall. Don't slouch. Now, lift your other leg straight out to the side, away from your body, about 12 inches off the ground. Your toes should be pointing straight forward, not angled up toward the ceiling. Here's the critical part. Do not lean your torso to the opposite side to lift your leg. That's cheating, and it takes all the work out of the muscle you're trying to train. Keep your shoulders level. Imagine you have a bowl full of water balanced on top of your pelvis, and you don't want to spill a single drop. That image will help you keep your hips level. Hold the lifted position for 2 full seconds. Really squeeze the muscle on the side.
Here's why this matters so much. When you do resistance training, you create tiny microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. That sounds bad, but it's actually a good thing. Those micro tears are the signal your body needs to rebuild the muscle stronger than it was before. But the actual rebuilding process happens during rest, and it requires protein as the raw building material. Recent research shows that older adults actually need more protein per meal than younger people to trigger the same muscle-building response. If you train hard but don't feed your muscles afterward, you're doing half the work and getting half the results. Think of it this way. Resistance training is like the construction crew that tears down the old, weak building. Protein is the bricks, the concrete, and the steel beams for the new, stronger building. You need both. So after every single workout, eat something with protein. Make it non-negotiable. Write it down, set a timer, whatever you need to do. This one simple habit will amplify your results dramatically. All right, let me bring everything together for you. Walking is wonderful. I love walking. I walk every day myself. I'm not telling you to stop walking. Please keep walking. But understand this, walking alone will not stop age-related muscle loss. It will not preserve your fast-twitch muscle fibers, and it will not keep you strong enough to live independently for as long as you want to. You need resistance training, 2 to 3 times per week, 15 to 20 minutes per session. Focus on movements that mimic real life, pulling, standing up, and balancing. Use tools like resistance bands that are safe, accessible, and affordable. The link is in the pinned comment below if you don't have them yet. Support your training with protein within an hour after your workout every single time. Do this consistently, and I promise you, your life will change. I've seen 75-year-olds regain the ability to travel internationally, work in their garden all day, and play on the floor with their grandkids simply because they added these 3 exercises to their weekly routine. You can be one of them. Here's what I want you to do right now. Hit the thumbs up button on this video so the algorithm shows it to more people who desperately need this information. Seriously, that one click helps more than you know. Grab the resistance bands from the pinned comment below. Don't wait, start today. And subscribe to this channel if you want more practical, evidence-based advice on staying strong, mobile, and independent as you age. I post a new video every single week. Thank you so much for watching. Now go take care of those muscles. They've been taking care of you your whole life. It's time to return the favor. I'll see you in the next video.